There's a reason why the most happiest, most successful women never tell you what they're building until it's already built. And it's not because they're secretive, it's because they figure out something that most people never do. If you pay attention to the women that are actually happy, not performing happy, actually happy, you'll notice something they all have in common. They're not the ones narrating every move online. They're the ones who show up already changed, already further along, and you're left wondering, when did this all even happen? I've read enough, researched the philosophy, watched many women live peaceful, resilient life to know that this is not just a personality quirk, it is a strategy. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why staying quiet about your goals protects your brain, protects your energy, and protects the actual outcome of everything you're working towards. And you're going to walk away with a completely different filter of knowing who gets to know what you're building and when. Here's Shanique and welcome to Her Internal Success. This channel exists because I truly believe your external success can only grow as far as your internal allows. Every week we explore neuroscience, identity, self-concept, and embodiment, not so that you could become someone else, but so you can finally understand the woman that you are capable of becoming. And I'm not telling you to be secretive or paranoid because that's not the point of this video. It's because I watch way too many women talk themselves out of their own goal with one well-meaning conversation at a time. And I just don't want to see that happen to you. And you may have heard this oftentimes, but it's nothing like actually experiencing it and witnessing from the people that you genuinely love. Not everyone watching you actually wants to see you win. Some people are only comfortable with you when you are playing small because your potential points out everything that they have not done yet. The moment you start leveling up, chasing something bigger, or thinking differently, their energy shifts without even having to say a word out loud. So what is that shift about if it's not personal? Most of the time, it's not malicious. At least I like to tell myself that. It's really projection. You generally don't know what someone else is carrying. Jealousy, a sense of falling short in their own lives, or just comfortable with the version that they're used to. And when you start choosing better for yourself, when you start to set boundaries or chase grand, big, extravagant goals, or even start healing, it can quietly expose the lack of movement in their life. And instead of feeling inspired, they feel exposed. And what comes out isn't flat out cruelty, but flat out reaction. Are you sure about that? Or are you silence when you were expecting or hoping for excitement? People could only meet your growth as deeply as their own. Hence why you need to find friends that like themselves, that want to improve for themselves, because your growth is going to expose their lack of movement in their own life. Once you actually understand that, you stop taking it personally and you start protecting your energy instead of protecting your feelings towards the reaction. Build a quiet, trusted circle instead of a broadcast list. People that are genuinely happy for you, even when it costs them nothing to do so. And when you are not sure if this person deserves to be in that circle, ask yourself this one question. Does being around this person expand you or does it drain you? If it drains you, that's your answer. They're not meant to be around your growing process. But protecting yourself from other people is only half of it, because there's something that happens in your brain every time we talk about a goal without it happening yet. Your brain can't tell the difference between talking and doing. And there's a psychologist named Peter Goldwitz that study this exact same thing. And once you understand it, you will never announce a goal the same way again. That is the real reason why you'll see a lot of people making a huge announcement about what's happening, and then you never hear from them weeks and weeks and months later. When you share a goal too early and you do get excitement as the response, the wow, that's amazing, the praise, your brain registers that social response as actual movement of the goal. You get a real dopamine hit of being seen as a person that is talking about it. And sometimes because your brain has already received the praise and excitement around it, it lowers the actual ability to do the work. And you start to feel like you finished a step without even making a single movement towards it. It generally felt more satisfying than the slow, mundane action of actually doing the work. And that's because their brain was already paid and rewarded for just talking about it. I hope you get the point. Talking about it doesn't automatically make you accountable for it. In a lot of cases, it makes you less consistent. So does that mean that you need to keep everything to yourself forever until no one? No. So let's talk about how you protect your attention, your goals correctly. Not everyone deserves access to your vision, 100%. And this is not a call to isolate yourself. However, if you need to be in your hermit season, do so. I've been there. But to completely isolate yourself the entire time, that is not healthy either. Everyone does need somewhere safe, whether that's a therapist for you, a partner or close friend that you genuinely trust, that you could be completely honest with and get feedback without judgment, or will listen without having or needing to fix anything. That kind of safe refuge is a huge blessing. So 100% find that support in this process. But what you don't need is an audience. Here's the filter that I will actually recommend you use outside of your therapist, outside of closest friend. And if you don't have that, this is what you need to seek for. Go to someone that has done what you are trying to accomplish, or someone with professional experience that could speak into what you are doing. Because it's not wise to look for direction from someone who's in the exact same spot as you. They're still figuring it out, they're still visioning things, and they're still uncertain. I've been there. You'll chat up with your girls and talk about all the things that you want to do. But just like the last point, you just talking about it and say, yeah, we're going to do this, is just tricking and lying to your brain that you're actually doing something. You guys feel so hyped up. Weeks go by, months go by, and years go by, and you're still talking about all the things that you could and should and want to be doing. Oftentimes, you get trapped into sharing your dreams to someone, even if at first they're excited, but what you cannot expect them to do is to carry that excitement for you. They do not have the same vision as you. So think of it. If you who needs the support in yourself, you cannot hand over that excitement and expect someone to feed you an excitement of a vision that they do not see for themselves. They may not even relate with. And generally they're just hearing, they have an open ear for you, but they cannot consistently drive you to keep going and going. That is something that you need to do because no one's going to save you. Also, I'm thinking of starting a free community. It's for this exact reason. So if you are interested in joining when I do open up, just comment her in this video and I'll know to reach out to you and let you know when the group is open. And under all of these reasons, there is still something outside of people as to why you need to keep your goals secret, because it's still new and still fragile. Protect the seed before it's a tree. Most things do not go exactly to plan. That is life. That's not failure. So when you hand out an exact plan, exact timeline, all your excitement to someone and it doesn't go to plan, imagine how you feel, okay? And then someone who genuinely cares about you, seeing you not achieve what you want at the same timeline that you expected. You can't expect someone, especially if they care about you, not to want to warn you or steer you in a direction that is more predictable. They're only going to give you that advice that they can perceive for themselves. So be mindful of your tolerance versus the other people around you, their tolerance. And if you cannot be in an honest conversation to share what that looks like for you, then they may not be the ones in that small circle that I was talking about. If you're constantly having to explain your plan to people, you end up living at the mercy of their opinion of your goals. And that is not freedom. This idea shows up into spiritual teaching too. Neville Goddard talks about the same principle. Protect the vision, move in silence. Let the finished result be the only announcement that you make. Go through the ups and downs privately, and you get to be the strongest you've ever been on the other side, with boundaries and self-respect that you would have never built if you're doing this with a public announcement every day. Now, some of you are more resilient to outside opinions than others, and this is going to change the way you take this advice. And I'll be straight with you. I'm built different. I'm one of those people. I could care less what other people's opinion. I'm not gonna say it doesn't sting, but I'm so confident in making my own mistakes. I've done the research, I've read the books, I've followed people that are successful, I've invested coaches that genuinely say that they were in the same spot, receiving the same comments that I have. So Who am I to not follow the lead of someone who genuinely went through the same process as I am, then listen to someone who's in the same position as me, speak through their fears and psych me out based on the limited vision that they have or do not have? Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. I don't need to hear what they have to say. Because I can completely understand that there's no way I can expect all 8 billion people of this world to understand what's going on in my life. We will love the closest people around us to all accept it, but it's just impossible. You cannot expect someone who does not hold the same vision, the same experience, the same why, the same drive as you. It's just impossible. Now, if you are someone that becomes crippled by people's opinion, this is exactly the reason why that you need to move in silence, because if you cannot handle the people's opinion, you need to move with your mouth closed the entire time. Really seek the professional support, therapist, someone who's been there before, because you will not make it if you are dependent on people's opinions. At least for now, you need to keep your goals silent, at least until you build your own proof, the evidence in your day-to-day life. Until then, you can stand on business. Until you build your manifestation muscle, you build your faith, you will be strayed and knocked down by anyone's opinion or lack of support, and you do not want that to derail you. And that self-trust is essentially what this video is building up towards. Freedom comes from being silent. Think about the two most common places people show up. In the beginning, you may have the clapping and the "you got this" and "I believe in you," and then they're quiet, cricket, ain't nobody around for the middle part. And then you heal them again when you achieve it. Everything in the middle, the actual work, the actual unglamorous seasons, the part that actually make the goal real, that is for you to endure. You don't need an audience. And when you go through that, you need to keep it private. You just need to do the work and trust that you are guided. Stay completely flexible and free to make switches in the direction, because like I said, not everything goes exactly to plan. So long as you see the end goal, you move towards it and you make changes and pivots and shifts. And you do this without owing a single person an explanation throughout the entire process, especially for someone who's never been where you are going. That creates freedom to be able to stop, go, move the directions, because you didn't blast and broadcast everything you're doing, and you won't have someone question, didn't you say you're going to do that, or wasn't it supposed to be on that? You have the freedom to make your own decisions to get to where you're going without having to justify to anyone. That is the most peaceful experience through building and working towards your goal and becoming her. This is not isolation, it is protection. Real support has nothing to do with the size of the audience. It's about becoming the woman whose words mean something to her first. Someone who doesn't need permission, an audience, or applause to keep her promise to herself. That's what happy really means in the title of this video. Not performed happiness, the quiet, self-trusting kind that doesn't need everyone's opinion for it to feel real. Before watching this video, you might have been sitting with a little discomfort, discouragement over the responses you got about sharing something that you're really excited about, or wondering who was even safe to tell your next big moves to. Now you know information is sacred, and it should be only handed to a selected few, if anyone at all. Now, I've personally selected this video for you to watch next if you want to stick around. I'm so grateful that you are here. Thank you for watching. I'm sending you love and so much strength. Until the next video.